Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Victor Fursov, and this is my channel devoted to insects and science of entomology. Today, first day of November 2024, I decided to start this stream just not planned, but just because there is a special day today. I noticed working out from my job time that many people are coming just with some drawings on their faces, and I suspected that something happening during this evening and night time. That Halloween is coming. Yes, and I was right. So young people were coming and were just jumping somewhere on the streets. We're happy, we're talking, we're laughing because of Halloween. So we're meeting all together, young boys and girls, trying to celebrate, socialize, to be together, to celebrate happy evening day, not in not so peaceful time. Because catch moment, and try to be happy in the time of war as well, despite all circumstances, despite all trouble, despite all unhappiness, casualties, everything front line between Russia and Ukraine in this crazy Russia-Ukraine war. But nevertheless, I checked in the internet and I found that I was right that today, nighttime, this is a day of Halloween. I decided to start this stream about entomology, about science of entomology, because people were celebrating Halloween actually. In Ukraine are considered freaks, some geeks, or some geeks, some strange people. Because actually Halloween is not celebrated widely in Ukraine for sure. But only some devoted people, only just 1, 2 persons knows about it because of internet, because of TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook as well. But other people just going and doing their normal style life. But entomologists are also some kind of geeks, some kind of a freaks, because we're unusual. We do love insects. We do love something strange like arthropods, beetles, bugs, caterpillars, moths, butterflies, some woodlice or rolypods, and some other creatures. We're just breeding them home, in laboratory, and try to study them very carefully. Trying to observe their behavior, study their morphology, study their trophical relations, study their mating behavior, trying to breed them, rear them, making some conservation measures, trying to breed them and release to the nature to make biodiversity of some ecological systems better. I keep some insects to show you because I wanted to show you a book, but these tiny creatures reminded me that I need to show you them as well. Because last time I was pleased to show you my caterpillars in my hands. So they were moving with their tails, with their abdomens. They were noisy, and now they are noisy. They have 4 pupae, this tiny pupae of deadhead moth. They are not tiny, by the way. A pretty big one, about 5-6 centimeter size. They are pretty heavy, and they are product of metamorphosis. You see, these tiny creatures, this is a life inside capsule time. This is capsule life as well. I'm showing to computer and telephone as well. This is a pupa of deadhead moth and Latin name Acherontiatropos, family hawk moths or Sphingidae. I'm pleased to show you them because I had 3 caterpillars from my friend from Chernihiv city. city just a little bit on the north from Kyiv, and they incubated, 3 of them incubated. One is very young, I didn't show you, and also one is older, maybe 1 week. So I have 3 very heavy caterpillar, heavy pupa. They're jumpy, nearly jumpy. Yes, nearly jumpy. I must be very careful, don't break them. I cannot show you the last one. Maybe I can show you. I'm afraid to take it in my hands. Because morning time, yes, this is the latest one, very young pupa, very young pupa. I keep them in my hands. This one is still light brown color, and this one, these 4 were just dark brown color. Youngest, just pupated. This is a unique process of metamorphosis, transformation from caterpillar into pupa. And pupa is alive, so heavy, breathing, moving by her tail, by her abdomen, by the way. And this is deathhead moth, Hymenoptera, pretty big one and very colorful moth, which you cannot find actually in natural conditions because it's very rare species. It was even included in the Red Book of Endangered Species protected by the law in Ukraine, but later it was excluded because scientists decided not to include it in the Red Book of Endangered Species because this is migrating species, which is migrating from the North Africa and east to Ukraine just from year to year, from season to season, but not really not rearing in Ukraine. Hello to people who is joining us. I can keep it in warmer conditions during the winter time at home. And of course, unfortunately, this lovely pupa, which is 5-6 centimeter size, pretty heavy, she's pupating in soil underground, and she will be dying during the cold winter, during the wet winter, during frosty winter, minus plus 10 maybe is already plus 10 Celsius degree already is just limited temperature for that moth development. And just below, maybe plus 5, she will die already just in underground. Hello to Washington, D.C., I guess so. This is Washington State. Maybe, where are you? Washington, D.C. on the east or Washington State on the east or Washington, D.C. on the or state on the west? Where is it? I know that USA has 2 Washingtons, state and city. This is someone is asking, is it possible to speed up the metamorphosis by keeping creatures in warmer temperatures? It depends. It's not the rule. Sometimes it is possible because insects they have their self-regulation, by the way, for survival of a whole population. Just for part of population, you can increase kind of metamorphosis. You can increase so butterfly will just transform into pupa and adult sooner than others. Others will be sleeping during the whole winter and even 2 winters. My friend Alex, he wrote me that he's keeping some pupa inside cocoons of a giant peacock moth, Saturnia peri. And these cocoons with pupa inside were sleeping already 2 second winter. And very like he cut a cocoon to search for pupa to check if the pupa is alive or not. So he found it, yes, she's alive. It gives just for insects kind of advantage. One part of population can survive cold winter, another can survive 2 cold winters or 2 warmer winters. So population can be subdivided and at least will not die during one extreme winter or spring or just extreme rainy autumn. So split of population according to different ecological conditions. This is very convenient, very interesting adaptation for survival. Are you biologist, Levi? Well, just think of beekeeper because I wrote Halloween in beekeeping and Halloween in entomology because beekeeping and entomology that's very close subjects. But some beekeepers can consider them as entomologists. But I recognize that knowledge of beekeepers and entomologists, the wider biologists, is different because I wrote it in the title of my stream, Beekeeping Science and Beekeeping Science. This is very small science, by the way, in Ukraine at least, despite very large industry. But we can say about the entomology science mostly, because most of entomologists are working in fundamental research, and only just this small part of entomologists are working practical purposes in some agricultural fields. But beekeeping industry is wide in Ukraine, and most of beekeepers in Ukraine, they consider themselves actually as entrepreneurs. In Ukraine, they say, I'm trying to be businessman. In Ukraine, people do not like the name entrepreneur. Young people, especially, they like world to be businessman. So they try to do it. So some of them are successful, some not. But this is a way so that they try to speed up it as soon as possible to get some money in the beekeeping industry, start to buy some beehives, beekeeping colonies, to breed them, to sell honey, but it's not profitable to sell honey in Ukraine by the way, so they can be disappointed, some of them. But young people, they can be ambitious, but older people who has experience, they're not so ambitious, but we have just little bit more time of experience, we can spend more money, and we are not intended actually to receive too much money as some young people. So I can put them here back in this chamber. We're sitting here. They should be sleeping during maybe 2-3 months. I hope to put it in dark time, in dark place to stop development even in a warm temperature. Because my friend Oleg is reading and breeding, he's making artificial mating of these lovely butterflies, these lovely moths, deathhead moths, in artificial conditions at home laboratory. So he's keeping them at wintertime on artificial diet. I don't have artificial diet, and it's slightly complicated way. Talking about entomology and home conditions, I can show just one funny creature, which is big one, which is from tropical region. This is a stick insect, which is still surviving because I have some food for her, and I have two male and female. I'm not quite sure who's male, who's female. They're completely the same. We lost couple legs. Stick insects sometimes order Osmodea. Sometimes they can be of a very big size. We consider this species from Vietnam with name Phenopharus haiensis. Phenopharus haiensis. Where is crawling on me? Yes, coming. Phenopharus haiensis. So Latin name. In Ukrainian and Russian. Дамский, вьетнамский палочник. Сегодня мы говорим немножко о Хэллоуине, немножко говорим о энтомологии и о пчеловодстве. Об энтомологии, пчеловодстве, потому что сегодня Хэллоуин с 31 на 1 число. Хэллоуин, just Хэллоуин, just This is a special day with witches, with masks, and so far so good with also so old strange thing with pumpkins. So I can find some pumpkins near Ukrainian shops, near some cafes near the center where I'm working, near some cafeterias, near some restaurants, by the way. Just I put it just to attract some people to come to the shop, not to buy pumpkin, but just to buy some food or to go to a restaurant to have some maybe lunch. Хотел сказать, сегодня я встретил большие толпы людей, разукрашенных, размалеванных в различных таких масках, с рожицами на лицах нарисованных. Я сразу понял, что что-то близится, похоже, Хэллоуин. Когда я проверил в интернете, действительно оказалось с 31 на 1 сегодня Хэллоуин, и даже наблюдается 3 дня Хэллоуина, праздника ведьм и всех остальных странных вещей, которые, в принципе, в Украине празднуют, не празднуют, а веселится, так сказать, шутит в основном молодежь. Молодежь, которая знает, что такое Хэллоуин. Никто другой, чуть-чуть более взрослый, чем молодежь, не знает, что такое Хэллоуин вообще, знает, что это праздник ведьм. Ой, прицепился, вот прицепился. Палочник очень цепкий. Не оторвать опять ножку. Надо очень аккуратно брать. Палочник обладает свойством в случае, если у него повреждены конечности, отбрасывать конечности. Палочник вот здесь сейчас не является насекомым. У него не 6 ног, у него 4 ноги. 2 ноги уже потерял, ни в какой не в схватке на него никто не нападал, а, видимо, немножко заболела ножка, и он отбросил для выживаемости свою ножку. Если бы он был маленьким, личинкой, лучник отрастил бы себе ножку. Ой, но он уже взрослый, поэтому всего лишь у него 4 ножки и 2 усика. А уже взрослый палочник, как взрослое насекомое мага, отрастить ножки никак не может. Уже взрослое насекомое шкурку не сбрасывает. Хотя есть насекомые, которые линяют даже во взрослом состоянии. Такое феномен есть. Но это не про палочника. Палочники насекомые с неполным превращением, как кузнечики, например, тоже. Они когда растут, личинка линяет, сбрасывает шкурку и подрастает. Палочник вот уже как вырос, если взрослый, то уже дальше больше не вырастет. Только его ждет уже, что он постареет, может заболеет, еще у него есть возможность уже во взрослом состоянии складывать яйца. А тут еще один экземпляр сидит. Но он не такой активный, поэтому этого мы покажем в качестве домашнего питомца. За питомцами хорошо следить, но надо за ними следить, чтобы у них было чисто в террариуме. Самочка после спаривания имеет возможность откладывать яйца, которые напоминают круглые шарики или какашки. Шарик размером с рисинку, только черного цвета, круглая. Из них можно вывести новое поколение палочников, если их будет чем кормить. Например, листьями дуба, свежими, выращенными с проростков, или размороженными, размоченными листьями дуба. Ну, посмотрим. Надо организовать поход на выходной за листьями дуба, пока дуб еще имеет листья. Пока отправляем его обратно в контейнер и читаем, кто там написал нам, наш коллега из Великобритании. Он написал, что stick insects make nice pets, but they reproduce parthenogenetically, so you can end up with many of them. They are different. Very different. Some species can reproduce parthenogenetically. Some species have males and females. And they can mate. Of depends on species. This species has males and females. This Yeah, I keep them just in this big cage, and I'm feeding these stick insects with rose hip leaves, with wild rose leaves. So still we have some leaves. But today I wanted to tell a little bit about methods of collecting insects. I have told already about it, so that's why I have also just cage with rose hip fruits. Today I just got for my another friend from Nikolaev region, from South Ukraine, very close to borderline, very close to front line actually. Nikolaev is near front line, and this is a rose hip from a steppe region. For scientific purpose. What means scientific? This is not for tea. I got half of liter that I asked. Alexander collected these roots of wild rose. This one, I'll show you. This wild, nearly dry rose, just for experiment, because I want to check them. I want to put them in some cages, just for checking who is living inside these fruits, of rose hip. Yes, Rosa rugosa. Rosa rugosa might be another species. Some fruits already dry, some fruits semi-dry, some fruits pink. So you can recognize a lot of different of rosa hip, wild rosa rugosa or rosa dog rose or rose. Why I'm interested in them? Because I want to check who is developing inside seeds inside these fruits. This is very important to check for breeding, for rearing some phytophagous seed-feeding insects which are living inside seeds of dog rose. You can collect dog rose in your courtyard. You see how many of them? Semi-dry. Oh, that's okay, because seed-feeding insects they belong to calcid wasps are sitting inside. They're still developing. They're on stage, maybe last stage of larva. Or some calcid wasps with size about 4 or 5 millimeters. They're sitting inside fruit here. If you can cut it with knife, if you can cut an seed, in some seeds you can find white larva or yellowish larva, and this larva is feeding by endosperm of seeds, rose hip seeds. So we will be developing during winter time. After overwintering, and maybe can emerge in early springtime, usually in April and May, or sometimes earlier, at least in maybe in March, warm temperature. It's possible to put it in to balcony, for instance, the cold place to start the metamorphosis, by the way, their development. It's good enough to dry them because sometimes fruits can be damaged by fungi. But insects will be very well developing inside dried seeds. So sometimes it's possible to buy all these fruits just in a pharmacy. But in a pharmacy, you don't know really in pharmacy some of these seeds and these fruits are heated. So and all insects can die inside. So that's why this is very valuable natural fruit. Thank you very much to my colleague who is zoologist and entomologist, Nikolaev region. Yes. How to do it? How to breed them? How to receive them? For that you need to use this kind of cage, this kind of package. For instance, this is emergent straps. You can use this. You can make yourself this special package with which is done with tissue, like my shirt, for instance. Same tissue. White is better because insects are visible. Inside you can put some beans, for instance, like that one, like Glidicia, or you can put some seeds like rose hip. So for instance, this one is just for breeding seed beetles. You can put here some seeds of Acacia, Glidicia, or some fruits from your local area. Either you are just living in temperate region or in semi-tropical region or in tropical region. Seeds, fruit, dry seeds everywhere, just all around, a lot of them. So you can collect them easily, put it to this cage, and insects will be developing inside this package. How to receive insects? For that you can get glass and attach the glass with cord to the package. To this pack here already is like that. So you can attach it. Yes, I can do it. Can do it. And insects when they will be developing slowly in an appropriate time, maybe springtime, maybe winter time, insects will emerge from seeds, from fruits, from galls, from flower balls, and they will be crawling to the light inside this glass jar. This is the most important. Otherwise, they will be sitting inside tissue package. So that's why I use cord, attach it here, write label for sure. Label is the most important in science and observations. And weight. This is trap. This is trap for insects which are developing inside stems, inside roots, inside leaves. Because if you collect your leaves in such kind of a plastic package, insects will be breeding, we will be rearing, we will be escaping, we will be lost. We can easily come out and escape very easily. If you can put it in such kind of package, tissue package, insects on white tissue, you can see it very well on tissue. Even if some insects can die, you can take them off with very tiny with brush, put it to alcohol samples and fix them in some samples, tiny samples like that. Yes? Or you can put them just in glass tubes like that. Both are okay. The glass tubes, plastic tubes, or epidoc tubes. So you can fix insects either in plastic tubes, in alcohol, or you can fix them dry. Glass tube with tissue cork. Sometimes insects drying are better used for morphological study. Thank you for coming. Someone is coming maybe from Vietnam or China. Someone is writing us some message in Vietnamese. I cannot read, cannot understand. So I can delete it if it is just spam maybe. So this is a package. You put here inside this package a lot of fruits like this. They will be dry a lot of seeds like beans. So insects will emerge. They will crawl to the light here. So you can wait and check the label. You can attach label here inside and you put label inside the tissue package as well. So all the insects will be coming out. After a certain period, you can collect them with a brush, with tiny brush, and transfer them to alcohol, transfer them to the glass tubes, and of course, very important, label. Label is the most important part of entomological study, because without label, material is useless. If you will forget all details, you can forget time, place, you can forget plant. After a couple of months, you do not remember. So that's why if insects will hatch, will emerge, it's important to write immediately label with place, city, village, forest, date of collecting, date of emergence from these plants, and these emergence traps. You can make them many of them. We're keeping many of these boxes, these packages in our entomological department, or rearing different entomological material from seeds, from fruits, from flower balls, from stems, from leaves with galls, with mines, and especially if you collect many different pieces of plants from different families and from different locations. So you can receive unique entomological material and unique samples, especially from different places during expedition. In expedition time, it's very important to collect samples, and the samples can be brought to laboratory for rearing in these packages, in tissue packages, because if you collect samples in plastic packages like that, somewhere in the field time, in summertime, hot days, you can bring them together. Even summertime, if you put some leaves inside packages, they can be damaged by fungi very easily. Fruits are very sweet, will be damaged. But leaves can be damaged, and some galls and stems will be completely damaged and rotating because extra moisture inside these packages, these emergence packages, seeds, plants, flower balls, beans will be drying slowly, so insects will be coming here. You can collect them with tiny brush and select them inside glasses, inside with label, which is the most important. Okay, this is about collecting methods, as I promised. Because collecting methods, this is very important part of entomological activity. It needs to repeat it again and again because different audience is watching streams during different times. And of course, I did make a lot of video with some yellow pen traps, where you can connect material to yellow pen traps. So, but this is so just lazy trap, trap. You can put trap, and all insects are coming and drop and dying inside pen trap, inside yellow, more Mercury traps, yellow trap, or pen trap, and Mercury trap. You can fill it with water, with shampoo, with salt. So insects are flying around, jumping around, and occasionally, eventually jumping inside like that, and they're dying inside this water. Next step, you need to make it use small aquarium net, fill it aquarium net with insects, clean it with fresh water, and put it again to some jars with ethanol, 70 or 90% ethanol. This is yellow pen traps. But in yellow pen traps, you do not know biology, you do not know plant, you do not know natural host of this insect, as a phytophagous insect or just parasitoid insects. You can only suggest the relation of these insects together with these ecological place, ecological conditions with these ecological system where you can near shrubs, near some plants, near water, near a lake, or maybe a stream, or maybe just stones with some mushrooms, maybe with some other plants. But no host. This advantage which you can collect it slowly, lazy during night time, and sometimes you can collect very tiny species which are very small sized and difficult to collect them by butterfly net. Or you can come here and can die inside the water of pen traps. You need to have very tiny skills, very careful skills to select them under the microscope later during free time or special time in winter. What I can show you again. I wanted to show you a little bit some literature about beekeeping industry in Ukraine, some journals which are publishing in Ukraine about beekeeping activities. This journal is named this journal after International Beekeeping Congress in 2013. It was held in Ukraine named Apimondia, not 13, in 17. Apimondia. With some leaders of Apimondia. This is Ukrainian. This one Ukrainian beekeeper, famous producer of Ukrainian wax, Mr. Dombrovsky, and some presidents of Apimondia in this time, in appropriate time. So this journal is named Apiary, or Beekeeping, or Beekeeping or Apiary. This family of one Ukrainian beekeeper, but he is not with us, at least now already. So this is journal Apiary. This one journal is named Ukrainian Beekeeper. Then I can show you journal which was published during maybe 10 years. Unfortunately, this journal is not published anymore. At least only some journal, some articles are republished by editor, because one editor passed away and one editor is very old, about 80 years old, so he is not able now just to keep all business with journal, all editing, all publishing activity, and also, now in Ukraine, this time of trouble, time of difficult situation. So this is actually one of beehives in Carpathian region in western part of Ukraine. Name of this journal is Beekeeping Circle. Beekeeping Circle, it means in general circle, tough, strong circle of beekeepers, united by their ideas, by their love to insects, their love to beekeeping activity, love to honeybees. Beekeeping Circle journal. And here also quite interesting, on the back cover are some photographs of Ukrainian beekeepers, subscribers of journal, and different beekeepers. And it's quite memorable because if you're a subscriber of journal, always pleasant to find your photo on the back cover. Someone is asking me about honeybee activity. Yes, actually, I did some more, I can say, short time, part-time, entomological Institute of Beekeeping. I've been studying one kind of a Ukrainian beehive. So I published several papers, several scientific articles about this Ukrainian honeybees beehive. and I did it with cooperation with inventor of his beehive, and owner of this beekeeping activity, owner of this beekeeping farm, Василий Приятеленко. So you can find some of my publications on ResearchGate. We published some papers about beekeeping technology, because this tiny book was written by Vasily Priatelenko, Ukrainian beekeeper, who invented his own interesting beehive with very special frames. On my channel, I showed some from time to time this beehive. So this small book has pictures, photographs, and description of this beehive, published in Ukrainian and in English. And we also published in collaboration some scientific articles published in Britain with description of this beehive, with description of structure of these comb frames, which is very special. I can explain it in separate video when I can show these frames, not on pictures, but I can keep it in my hands. Because I also was talking several times about this Василий Приятеленко near his beehives in apiary, but always it's challenge to talk again. Even at conference, you can explain the structure, you can explain details of beekeeping technology, biology of honeybees. For one audience, for another audience, for one group of people to another group of people, always it needs explanations, details, and to be persistent, to repeat it again and again, different forms, to educate people about biology of honeybees and biology, their lifestyle, living, and their advantages in hive or his modification. Yes, actually, he invented very special hive structure, which has, if I remember, 10 or 12 different advantages for honeybee survival, for honeybee development, for honeybee overwintering, for honeybee harvest during the harvest time, summertime. But I cannot explain it immediately now, because today we are talking just briefly about beekeeping industry in Ukraine. Some young people are active, as I said. We published also we made some presentation in Apimondia and Apislavia. This was in Apimondia. I did this poster myself, did photographs, this poster, our meetings together with Turkish beekeepers, and here was written briefly the structure of the hive in English and in Turkish, in two languages. This one in English and this part was Turkish. Actually, his apiary is relatively close to Kyiv, in approximately 30 kilometers nearby. So he's always very kind to invite devoted beekeepers, some lovers of beekeeping industry, as guests to his apiary in summertime. So if you are coming to Ukraine anytime, and if you are interested in beekeeping, you can visit freely, and he will be very pleased to show you his beehives, his comb frames, his structure of beehives, and explain you everything what you want. So let's see what's going on next summer, next springtime. So as I said about this journal, I can show you some covers of this journal, Ukrainian Beekeeping Circle. Beekeeping Circle is also the name of beekeeping meetings. People are meeting sometimes in Ukraine, so you can see here how many Ukrainian beekeepers have been meeting all together during these beekeeping meetings. More than 100 people were meeting all together, just listening for some lectures, some presentations for the trade and sale of the beekeeping equipment, the honey, beekeeping products. During lectures and conferences, they exchanged by their ideas. And we're very happy to meet sometimes once a year during these beekeeping circle meetings. Now it was not so easy in wartime, but this year people were meeting in not so large groups, but we met two times at least in different places for some organization questions. Here you see a photo, and this is just selection almanac. This is selection of the most interesting articles from all these journals all together. So this almanac, a selection of most interesting publications for several years, which was selected by editor Vasil Solomka. Vasil Solomka, famous Ukrainian beekeeper and editor of this journal. He's over 80 now. Second beekeeper was Commissar, Dr. Commissar. Okay, let's check here. He has here his photo. Alexander Commissar, no. Here, no, his photo. For instance, Vasil Solomka, editor of this journal, he published this book with some investigation of original of model of just proposal of original behavior of Prokopovich. Prokopovich is the first Ukrainian beekeeper which started Ukrainian beekeeping activities and industry 200 years ago in Ukraine. There are few original beehives which stayed in some museums in Ukraine. So he restored his beehive in his apiary and described some details of frames, structure, and so far so good. He compared the different structures which were indicated in the very short publications of Prokopovich, because Prokopovich didn't publish full description of his beehive. So this is just a reconstruction of beehive, just the miracles of Prokopovich beehive. Or it was kind of reconstruction of the first Ukrainian beehive. Yes, I have published some videos from the apiary, so you can find them on my YouTube channel. So this journal, Beekeeping Circle from Ukraine. Beekeeping Circle with Ukrainian beekeepers. Some Ukrainian beekeepers in northern part of Ukraine, in forestry area, were keeping this type of beehives as logs on trees, but this is quite rare case. Only few people, very limited people or beekeepers are keeping this old style of log beehives. I was talking about this Prokopovich beehive, first Ukrainian beehive. I may say for sure this was different because There are some publications in this time, like the Ukrainian language was published Pokorsky Журавка book with different pictures of Levitsky, Beekeeper, some beekeepers from United States of America, which have appeared about 100 years ago. So all of these constructions and all these modifications appeared nearly at the same time. But Ukrainian beehive has not been patented, didn't receive any patent, because in United States, this was the time of everything was patented. Received everything, every invention received patent. But in this old time, in the time of Prokopovich 250 years ago, it wasn't so well developed. So he mostly keep it as a secret. Secret only for teaching for his beekeeping school, which was in Ukraine, and he has a school with over 300 students in his beekeeping school. But after his death, the school was closed only for a short time, was continued by his son. Yes, in this time, in the time of Empire didn't support any type of modification, any type of education, patents as well. So that's why I probably, because patents, this was just reflection of capitalism. This is indication of well-developed capitalism. Empire just wanted to own everything, not to give any rights, any rule, any law for private entrepreneurs. So something was published, something was, and everything was owned by the state, by empire. But this is all time. Anyway, so this was short introduction of Beekeeping journal. Thank you for questions. Finally, I want to show you some publications with Ukrainian insects, not only not many publications with atlases of insects. There are some old atlases of insects which I'm interested for. Ukrainian entomologist, which is like an illustration of different entomological material of different orders. So quite useful for entomology, for students, for researchers who is working in plant protection. Yeah, this book with some, not only with drawings, not with drawings of weevils, beetles, all orders, but also with description of the biology, and with short articles about the economical importance as well. Some moths, pests of agriculture. So this atlas of pests of field crops. Some bollworms, Noctuidae. So this corn moth as well. And I showed already here atlas which was published about our entomophagous insects. I can show it more comfortable conditions. I showed it outside in a park. Sometimes it was cold to show. Now I can show it in a room. So these are entomophagous insects. Hymenoptera, these are Troicanidae family. larval parasitoids. This is atlas of entomophagus, which are started from dangerous insects like ladybugs, some ground beetles, predaceous ground beetles, predaceous wasps as well, social wasps also. Some bugs, predaceous bugs, some species of Reduvium, entomophagus, some Beetylid beetle, beetyloid bees, some social and solitary wasps, some predaceous flies, syrphidae flies, and here's Hymenoptera. These are ichneumonidae wasps with very long ovipositor to infest the host or lay eggs somewhere in concealed place. So these are also not photographs, these are all drawings. Ichneumonidae. We have many species of Ichneumonidae. These are Draconidae family. Also Draconidae family. Larval parasitoids of beetles. Caterpillars, different moths and butterflies. With long ovipositors, with short ovipositors. The microgastrine parasitoids of different Pieridae moths, Noctuidae moths. Many species of Calcidoidae family, Calcid wasps. Yeah. Eurytomidae family, Perilampidae family. Yeah, Pteromallidae. Pupal and larval parasitoids, Pteromallidae family. Here, Eupilmidae, this one. Eupilmidae family, and Pteromallidae, this one. Pteromallidae. Here, elongated body. Eupilmidae. Yeah, family. It was Encertidae. Parasitoids of many orders of insects. Ticks, a species which is parasitizing ticks. Exodiphagus, genus Exodiphagus. Yeah, these are Encertidae, tiny Encertidae. They can be egg parasitoids, larval parasitoids, egg larval parasitoids, and pupal parasitoids. Yeah, family Eolophidae with very different biology. Also, egg larval parasitoids, egg parasitoids, pupal parasitoids, different combination of biology. This is parasitoid of bees, and downward Euplectrus parasitoid of caterpillar, larval parasitoid of caterpillars. Euplectrus, family Eolophidae. Yeah, Pediobius is on this Pediobius, and these are family Aphilinidae, Calcid wasps. Some Trichogramma which I am studying. These are tiny, these are Aphilinus, family Aphilinidae. Yeah, Trichogramma female, Trichogramma male with long antennae, female with short antennae. The original size is 0.5 millimeter, very tiny one. Here, Platygastridae family, black one. egg parasitoids. And here many species of such predaceous lions of family Tachinidae. Very colorful pictures. Different species of Tachinidae family, where larval parasitoids on different caterpillars and on some. An image in many cases from pupa and sometimes on adult insects. Yeah, indication of some hosts like pupal parasitoid, larval parasitoid, egg parasitoid. This is sometimes secondary parasitoid. Many cutseeds were secondary parasitoids, and some other Hymenoptera as well, like on Brachynidae. So this is also my trichogramma parasitoid, egg parasitoid of butterflies, moths, and beetles. This one, trichogramma egg parasitoid. So this was a short review for some insects or some methods like this one. I hope was interesting, surprising for you. Something was new at least, not everything. Secondary parasitoid, it means when one parasitoid, for instance, is feeding on caterpillar. So this is a primary parasitoid. And secondary parasitoid, this is another species of parasitoid which is feeding on the first one. That's why it's considered as a secondary parasitoid. And sometimes there is a third parasitoid which is feeding on the secondary parasitoid. So this is a chain of primary, secondary, and tertiary parasitoid. Quaternary were not existing. Primary, secondary, and tertiary. So that's quite often. For instance, Brachynidae parasitoid, size about 6 millimeters, parasitizing on caterpillar of bollworm and making a lot of cocoons on the body of caterpillar. But some calcid wasps were tiny, about 3 millimeters, 2 millimeters size, are coming and infesting these cocoons of Brachynidae. So these tiny calcid wasps were smaller because food is limited, were smaller, but were also gregarious, were parasitizing cocoons of Brachynidae. So they are considered as secondary parasitoids. And even some tertiary. It's also described and indicated. Not so often, it's not so easy to find because biological study is the most interesting but most careful, the most time-consuming investigation and observation. It needs to have very sharp eyes, very careful observations in the field to find host, to find parasitoid, and very careful observation in laboratory to keep these insects alive, to find the features of behavior and biology. And of course, maybe sometimes to open the host to check larvae, pupa, and eggs of these parasitoids inside host. Not only receive adults, so you cannot see where this adult just was living. You need to open the body of caterpillar, the body of bug, body of beetle, to check the hemolymph, to check what is inside the egg. And inside tiny egg, you can find either egg of parasitoid or maybe larva of parasitoid or maybe already grown larva of parasitoid. It can be one form or one species, two different forms, two stages of it, for instance, this parasitoid, or maybe these are two different species parasitoid inside one host. So it's just a miracle. This is difficult to study and it needs very careful observations. It needs to have microscope and attention and time to keep all these cultures very, very careful because insects were tiny, very small, they can die very easily. But you can check, study biology on living materials, not on dry, but not on dead insects. Otherwise, you can study insects only in collection in a museum. But biological study is the most interesting most time consuming, very fruitful if you know how to do it, and can give very interesting discoveries. Anyway, I have also some other books about entomology, but I hope so it was good enough for this evening Halloween time to tell you a little bit more about Ukrainian entomology, to tell you a little bit more about Ukrainian beekeeping. So thank you for coming, thank you for interest, thank you for curiosity. I can talk more about entomology anytime if you ask your questions. I can talk more about Ukrainian beekeeping industry as well. Some beekeepers are coming to my channel and you can find them and we can discuss as well, either just questions, ask questions, some answers, or just write comments, write questions, then I can ask and I can reply in the meantime after reading your questions. Yes, this is a chain of parasitoids, primary, secondary, tertiary. This is a limitation. If there is a food, there is someone who is interested in a food. If there is a phytophagous insect, so there is some. If there is a big phytophagous insect, which is feeding on plant, whereas someone parasitoid which is coming and infesting phytophagous insect, and there is another small, tiny parasitoid like Winnie Pooh, like this one, which is coming and infesting this one. So this is a chain of life, by the way, and limitation of one population, second population, and third population as well. And the smallest parasitoids, as I told already, were very tiny, like protists, size of protists. The smallest, these are tiny parasitoids of thrips eggs. Thrips, this is tiny Tizanoptera order. The size of thrips, sometimes quite a big one, maybe 1 millimeter, even more. But smallest of them, about less than 1 millimeter. When thrips they lay eggs in the body of female of thrips, it's approximately 1/3 part of body. So, and this 1/3 of part of body, this is 0.2 millimeter size. So one of the smallest parasitoids, egg parasitoids of thrips, belonging to genus Megaphragma. And by the way, I have collected them in yellow pen traps. 0.5 to 0.5 millimeters, half a millimeter. This is big one. But some parasitoids 0.2 millimeters. So they can come to water, can die inside, and can be found. So they are parasitic wasps of genus Megaphragma, one of the smallest of a family Trichogrammatidae. And some fairy flies of family Mimaridae, also very tiny, but not only parasitoids of thrips, some other species, some other orders as well. But about Megaphragma, I was surprised how it's possible to collect them in these pen traps. Yes, it's possible. It needs only to check water with samples very carefully under microscope and to find them very careful after very careful observation. 0.2 millimeters insects are recognizable under microscope. But not everybody can find it for sure, because the insects are very tiny, very making small reflections with light, reflections of their wings, they're shining, and very small, by the way. Anyway, today we were talking about parasitoids, we were talking about bees, honeybees, about beekeeping industry and the beehives. Thank you for interest, thank you for curiosity. Yes, Megaphragma. Welcome to next streams. Welcome to next meetings. Thank you for support Ukraine. Don't forget, stand with Ukraine. Don't forget, help Ukraine. Don't forget, support Ukraine. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, by the way, if you are coming for the first time. Maybe 10, 12 people are watching it now just on my smartphone, because it's Thursday day. It's not weekend. On weekend time, more people are coming. but today we are celebrating crazy day of Halloween. So best greetings from Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. Best Halloween greetings. Positive one, by the way, because stand with Ukraine, and Ukraine will win. Thank you for your interest, thank you for curiosity in entomology and in beekeeping. To be continued soon, the sooner the better. Follow to my channel. Bye bye. Good luck. See you soon on my channel. Take care. Good luck. See you soon.